So right now we are tuned into morning meditations with Michael, and call it a meditation, call it a stream of thought, whatever the heck you want to, but I'm just sharing a few thoughts while I'm outside getting some good mana, some fresh spirit, some fresh air in, some fresh, what do we call air? I don't know the scientific name for it. I know water is H2O, but anyways, I think oxygen's like O or O2 or whatever, but I'm not a science major. But anyways, what's on my mind for today? I don't know. But one thing I've been pondering is the whole concept of work. It's a very interesting concept of just, and I'm just speaking as a speaker. I'm speaking as a human, but it's interesting how work exists, but what is work? And I'm not getting all scientific, at least not yet. If I had it, trust me, if I had the definition, the whole force equals mass acceleration, yada, 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 we'll make it fit in. But still, it's interesting how when we're born into our mother's womb, even that whole process takes work. And I guess we really can equate work to action, but truly, what is action? Is action just a thing of the physical? And what is the physical? You know, when we think of thought, isn't that technically an action? Isn't there, even beyond the synapses and electrical impulses of the brain, on a higher level, like where is that thought occurring? And is that technically physical? Even though we physical humans, quote unquote physical humans, can't necessarily touch a thought, but we can observe a thought with the proper technologies, this, that, and the third. They're already studying it. They've been studying it forever with the whole brain waves. They know sleep waves, deep sleep waves, when your brain's in high concentration mode, gamma frequencies, all this other stuff. But wouldn't that be the same thing as action? So truly, what is physical? And I know I'm all over the place, but I say all this to say, as basically, I'm very blown away. I'm very intrigued by just the process of work. Like, for instance, right now I'm at the apartment place. If there was no groundskeepers, this place would be trashy as heck. If there was no garbage man, garbage woman, whoever the garbage people, this place would even be more trashier. And if there was no place for the garbage to go to get decomposed and recycled and turned into new materials that we're gonna go and purchase again to use again for our well-being as humans, we will be in a very cluttered place. But it's interesting. It seems like there's work that just has to be done. I'm not gonna even say has to be done. There's just work that needs to be done for a top tier quality of life. Because even if I'm not a history major, shoot, I might get my major in history. I might major in everything. Anyways, if you look in the past, I'm really trying to bring some stories here, but today versus back in the past, when they didn't have working plumbing, they basically had to make some type of sewage system that runs into their lakes, and some of the times that was the same lake they were drinking water out of, which is basically getting those people very sick. Look up the stories. Anyways, it'll be cool if I can bring up the stories here. Technically I can do that in editing, but that's where preparation comes in hand. But right now we're just making content to make some content. Anyways, looking at life now, how we actually have working plumbing systems, how we can go to the bathroom, it gets transported to its next place, and all that stuff does all that. We don't have to have it just laying there, you feel me? Like, that is a whole step up of life. But I say all this to say, without people working, doing those, I guess you can call it necessary things, but doing those things that help us humans achieve that top tier life. Because if people just let the defecation, I don't know if that's the correct word, but basically if people left their remains in the toilets, it would not be very pleasurable to walk our city streets. But thanks for the workers that take care of all that. But I know I'm still rambling, and I'm rambling really just to spike certain light bulbs within your consciousness, whether I'm talking here. At the end of this, it all links together. Anyways, my biggest thing when it comes to work, because I understand there's work to live a top tier life. Like, for instance, if I don't take a bath, I'm not going to be smelling the best, probably won't be feeling the best because I'm not smelling the best, and probably even gain some type of rash or whatever the heck if I'm not taking a bath. So that's just work that, I'm not saying you have to, but that's the work that we must do to live at the top tier human experience. But putting a freaking line in the middle of work that needs to be done, quote unquote, work that needs to be done versus passionate work that I want to do. You know, always as a kid, I've been one of those kids that's like, And I know I need to evolve this, or I have been evolving this mindset, but I'm like, man, I honestly do not want to do anything that I truly don't want to do. Like, even when it comes to school, my parents held me back in the 3rd grade, not because I was falling behind in class, but I was too focused on doodling. That was my passion. It's always my passion, just come up with little characters and story worlds. I was too involved in that. But I will say, from a mature perspective, I do believe there comes a time and a place where we must buckle down and understand, if we're in school, we're in school. But if we're doing something of a passionate nature, we're doing something of a passionate nature. Just like when it comes to showers, we don't have to shower, but for a top tier lifestyle, we want to shower. Just like when it comes to work, I'm not saying that you couldn't follow your passion to the end all be all and have things work out for you. You might be in a department that you didn't know you could because you actually faced your fears. But in the event that that didn't happen, just like I was watching a video on the creator of Pokemon, can't remember the dude's name, but creator of Pokemon, he was talking about how as a kid, he used to be very intrigued with bugs, very intrigued with just nature, forest, environments. And I can't remember exactly where he was working, but at one point in time, hold up, I don't know if that was a mosquito trying to take my blood on that one. Not today, Mr. Mosquito. Anyways, I don't remember it verbatim, but basically what he was saying, what he enjoyed to do as a passion wasn't lucrative anymore, so he had to switch up and find something else. And he still found something else close to his passion and still made a career of it. But I don't want to get too nebulous on that. The main point I'm dialing in here is, how can we start to think differently about the work that must be done and the work that we just want to do? You know, is there a way to incorporate passion and that I want to do spirit into everything we do, so we don't have to think about this is boring or not, you know? Or, because once again, this is like all in the air. I don't know if there are certain tasks that's already built in fun. For instance, if I do anything music related, listening to music, making music, reviewing music, interviews about that stuff, I'm instantly excited about that. Or anything about stories or stuff like that, instantly, I'm excited like this. Look, and yesterday I was talking to this one dude, actually this one kid over at the barbershop right up the street, and I was asking him, like, what are your passions in life, without even really thinking about it. And he was like, sports. And from that perspective, like, he could have said technology, he could have said basket weaving, could have said cooking, but instead it was sports. Is there something, and another question, I was like, when did you find out you actually love that category of life? When did you find out you love that industry? However you will call it. Anyways, he said, when I was 5, when I got into the first game of football, I knew I was in love. Is that something that's already built in, waiting for us to be like, no, that is an extension of me? Or can we feel that way about everything else? You know, that's where I'm here and there. So I really, once again, this is just an open conversation, open discussion to add some new light on just work and how can we see work differently. I don't care if you're working at a warehouse, where I currently do. Don't plan to work there forever, but I don't really care how long I gotta work there forever. I know what I want in life. I don't care what he's talking about, she's talking about. Oh, you're working this, that's only at this type of job. Like, that's what you believe, homie, or homiette, not I. So I say all this to say, and to really draw attention to, once again, we're all over the place, but all I gotta say is, follow the path that you need to follow. Whether your path is getting off of your path, sometimes you need to get off of your path to understand, okay, I clearly understand that's not my path. And without actually having that experience, you couldn't be that much more passionate, that much more lit, so to say, about your true passion, your true calling, if that even exists. But it might exist, but I'm one of the ones forefronting right now to really bring into this conversation. Is there truly a difference from work? And is there truly a difference from passionate work? And how can we turn just regular everyday work into passionate work? How can I turn, if I worked at a grocery market or the warehouse I do work out, how can I actually make that fun? Even though I have ways to, where I'm like, yo, if I'm here, I'm gonna utilize everything I'm learning here to put outside of here. Basically taking the same mindset I'm actually at work and overlaying it here. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of the times we do know what we love. Shoot, I even say this to openness, even personal experience. I do feel as if we know what we love, but sometimes we do not take the actual action. Yes, very straightforward, but sometimes you might need to hear conversations like this, other podcasts, this, that, and the third, to spike those lights in your lights so you can start to see what's right in front of you. Because sometimes in your brain, your consciousness, you might have those important lights on. You might be on this side where it's like, oh, I want to this, that, and this, that, and third, but yet you feel no type of excitement from it. Once again, there's certain things you just got to do just out of top tier experience of life. And once again, we'll find a way to divide that. But I do feel as if when you are navigating with the heart, and a lot of the times, I believe 100% of the times, it makes no sense when you're navigating with the heart. We can go back in history. If you look up stories of J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter, she was homeless at one point in time. I'm pretty sure she had moments of doubt, moments of like, yo, is this truly gonna work out or not? But look at the lady now. She's like one of the billionaires off of stories. But there are countless stories of how people were following their heart, aka they were following what excited them. They were following their interests. No matter if their interests didn't make sense to the next person, even if their interests didn't make sense to the thing they were just doing a month ago, a year ago, they're still following the interest. And Steve Jobs actually talks about that. You can look at one of his older interviews where he talks about he was very interested in just different studies at colleges. Like he said he was interested in, I think, calligraphy, if I'm saying that correctly, but basically he was interested in just typeface. He was interested in just the user interface and just how letters look. So he took like some type of letter class of how fonts were made, all this other extra stuff. But him doing that and learning all these other classes all streamed into one lake that was Apple. So it's literally like taking 100 lakes from like the far east corner of Boston, taking a lake from Canada, taking a lake from Texas, taking a lake from freaking Hawaii, and merging them all together. And sometimes it might take some time. And to be very fair, and this is why I always say, don't let people in on what you got going on. I mean, you could talk about it all day if you're truly confident about it, and you're one of the ones that won't change your decision off of someone else's words. But a lot of people will speak on or try to change what they do not understand. And a lot of the times, if we start listening to them, we could be robbing this earth, we could be robbing this world on true joy. For instance, if J.K. Rowling's never followed through on her intuition and her passions, we wouldn't have Harry Potter. If Drake never followed through on his intuitions, his passions, we wouldn't have Fire Drake music. If Steve Jobs and every other developer didn't do what they have to do to get where they need to, I wouldn't be talking in front of you right now. But that's in every case. That's why I say, let people do what they believe they need to do. Once again, out of love. I don't believe in that violence and stuff. If anyone's talking violence and hurting other people to get ahead, that's lame, that's uncool, and just ignore them. But if you are on the side of love and you're like, no, I feel something else, once again, people are gonna be like, nah, that's not the right way. Nah, you gotta go this way. Nah, if people go this way, it never works. It's like, that's from your lenses, dude. Like, you don't have my lens. You feel me? So you have your own lens. So I always feel like if I'm speaking to somebody, I'm asking questions to, like I always tell people, I want to take a page out of everybody's book. I don't care if it's the homeless dude on the street. I might not go for him for financial advice, but he might have some fire advice of surviving, and that same surviving advice might go great with what I'm working with. It doesn't have to work for every million, billion people on this earth. So we must get out of that mindset of, oh, I'm doing this for this other person, or I'm doing this to look good for these people. The heck do we care for? I'm still gonna have love for other people, but once it starts to invade on, no, you shouldn't go that route, I'm like, if you're telling me that, I hope you're telling that to yourself first. But usually, I mean, that's just a human thing. And a lot of times people do want the best for you. Like, even when it comes to parents, a lot of times, because I mean, I come from a very wonderful family, and my dad's super supportive. My mom's supportive at times within her own confines of belief. But the beautiful thing, there's a quote that goes wonderful with this. If their comments can make you, their comments can break you. Let's run that back one more time. If their comments can make you, so if the comments like, you look good, oh, I love the stuff that you make, yada yada yada, good comments. If you're building your house on that foundation, if you're putting the blocks there and off those comments like, oh, you look good, oh, I like what you do, blah blah blah, if you're literally building your house on that, and you're like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, that person liked what I did yesterday, oh, that person said that person, which is cool. A good comment's a good comment. I'm not saying don't deflect the comment, but if you're solely waking up off of what other people said, good or bad, once again, if their comments can make you, if you build your foundation off for those good comments. Those same people can be feeling differently or hear something, or someone can say something, lie or not. It can even be true. They might not agree with it. Then they'd be like, well, I take away my comment, then the next person comes. I take away my comment, the next person comes. I take away my comment, the next 10 people will come. I take away all my comments. Where's your house? It's crashed. Why? Because if the comments can make you, the comments can break you. Now, what's a solution for that? The solution for that is when you hear a comment, thank you. Like if I'm a chef, it's like I even have the pink chibi mix chef hat on. Oh, now that's actually kind of fire. Ooh, hold up. Save that for later date. Anyways, I am Chef Chibi cooking up a mix for you. Anyways, if I am a chef, so how do we combat if their comments can make us, their comments can break us? How do we live with that? So how do we take a compliment and how do we take a negative compliment? A compliment, if I'm a chef, I cook a good bowl of pasta linguine and someone's like, oh my God, this was delightful. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed, but here's the thing. With me making that pasta linguine, I put so much of my heart in that. I put so much skill, measured out every teaspoon. I'm talking, I was connected to all the cosmos and the planets while I was making that linguine, whatever. So I say this to say, I was making that meal out of love. So no matter what someone says good or bad about it, the feeling I was generating while doing that act of whatever, that's where I was building my foundation on. So if someone comes with the guy says, I love the linguine, I'm like, cool, but no foundation was built. That's like Christmas time, Halloween time. That's like, dang, I love the decorations of your house. A good comment or bad comment is not going to turn off the lights. That's just an observation. But what we are building our foundation on is what we are the ones who are putting into it. What we're building our foundation of is the love we have for the craft. So back on this analogy, back on this story, whatever the heck you call it in English language. So if we're making some spinach linguine to the top dear degree, being connected to all the cosmos, a good comment, thank you. But once again, we're not building our foundation on that. So the next dude comes in, he's like, you know what? I don't like this spinach linguine. It ain't for me. I'm like, you know what, sir? Very fine. There's another restaurant up here you might want to try. But here's the thing. It doesn't take or add to the foundation. Because once again, for the millionth time and the millionth time more, we build our foundation from what's in the stomach, from what's in the heart, from what's in the soul. I don't go out and put on nice dressed clothes to get the compliments from the other people. Compliments are nice, but I was just feeling myself. You feel me? And from that place of operating, I feel like that is truly the lasting effect, the lasting method, the lasting way, the built to last way. And that's why your boy's last name is Laster too. I'm not gonna, it's funny, literally, my last name is Laster. And I never actually paid attention to that word until like probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I really, man, take a toll in your own life. Start to look up what your name means. Look at the history of your last name. I'm starting to see a lot of this stuff don't seem accidental. And even if your name is Deviante Squinquilius that don't even exist yet, make up your own meaning of a name. Let's stop needing someone else to validate us. Like I just said, we don't wait for a good compliment to feel good, and we don't wait for a bad compliment so we can feel sad and start beating ourselves up. We are in the new time of humanity where we do this because we loved it. I show up because I loved it. Even if it's something, for instance, if it's something I don't want to do, I'm still working with this myself. There's a lot of stuff I truly don't want to do. So I don't want to say psych myself out, but I want to get into a mind frame of how can I look at the work that must be done from a perspective of this is passionate as well. And a lot of people would say, that's even doing too much work versus just jump in and do it. And that's cool, but just like I was held back in the 3rd grade, I feel like I was one of those ones. And with my last name being Laster, personally for myself, not anyone else, I'm that type of person where I might need to learn something 100 more times than the next person. But the thing about me, the lasting effect, if I learn it 100 more times, darn sure by golly I'm gonna have that concept down. I mean, once again, some people might be good. They got it on 7, cool. But once again, if I got it on 100 times, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I got a beautiful quote, Phil Knight or Phil Jackson. I cannot remember his name. I want to say Phil. It's cool because I think Phil Knight, there's 2 Phils, which is very beautiful if I'm not mistaken. I think Phil Knight is the owner of Nike and Phil Jackson is the coach of Michael Jordan, LeBron, and other few greats. But what was it? Anyways, one of the Phils that was the mega coach, the galactic coach for the top tiers in the games. Once again, LeBron, Michael Jordan, some other people. I'm not even a sports person, but you cannot not know about those people. But one thing he does say that will always stick within me. He says, we do not practice a difficult shot until we make it. So imagine at the end of the gym day where it's like, all right, team, we're not gonna leave until everybody makes a shot at this 3-point line. He's like, yeah, that's cool. But it's like, nah, we're reframing this mindset. Team, we're not leaving until, hold on. I'm gonna run the quote, then we'll break it down into story. All right, I don't wanna get tripped over myself now, you feel me? Anyways, he says, we do not practice a shot until we make it. We practice a shot until we do not miss it. I'm like, oh, it's so simplistic, but it's powerful when you like really, when it just locks down, you're like a Lego block, you're just like enlightened, you feel me? Real crap though, that's how you feel off something like that. But how I like to break that down in story, because usually when I hear stuff, I go into story mode in my mind like instantly. So how I usually see that is if we're all as a team, we're not gonna leave the gym. So everybody needs to shoot at this 3-point line, make the shot. That's cool, other teams. But our team, until you do not miss that shot. So if we're doing 5 shots there, 1 shot's cool, but no, until that is a everyday pull up to the line, not just, okay, I'm good to go. It's like, nah, that needs to be an everyday occurrence. That shot needs to be your new free throw line. You need to be throwing them up just like that. So once again, we're running that quote back. That is, we do not shoot the shot until we miss it. Hey, what's up, homie? Yes, sir. Yo, nah, shouts out the dude. But yes. We do not shoot a shot until we make it. We shoot a shot until we don't miss it. And I don't really remember why I bring all that back up, but here's the thing. I do not need to know why I bring all that back up, because that quote alone is how we should be operating at an everyday basis of life. And even right now, I don't have any stories, analogies to bring it up, but let me put that on your heart, put that on your soul, put that on your consciousness, your mental, whatever the heck you want to call it. It goes by millions of names, but that is something from me to you. Stay powerful, stay focused. Once again, you are the one driving your boat. If you're doing things out of love, you don't have to look behind your back. You don't have to wonder if it's right or wrong. You should not be fearing anything. God does not give us the spirit of fear. And I'm not even getting religious with you. I'm just being human, galactic, spiritual. Don't forget we're on a freaking spinning rock too. Like, I understand we humans are great. Yes, we have technology. We build buildings. We send rockets to space. But what being put the Earth into rotation? What being put the moon rotating at a perfect proximity, a perfect distance away from this ball that's all revolving around this larger ball? Because if I'm not mistaken, they say 1 million of our Earths, if like not even a larger number, but 1 million of our planet Earths, where 4.3 billion people exist, 1 million of those can fit in the sun. So my thing is, if we humans can make cars, if we humans can make stuff that can record all this beautiful technology, what being is putting those planetary organisms into play? So I say all that to say, even though there might be a proven method of this or a proven method of this, but if my heart is calling for this, if my heart is calling for this, once again, I feel as if, hold on, I'm gonna run it back. We got a little bit of car, but that ain't gonna stop the message. That's nothing. Anyways, if there are organisms beyond our belief, spinning at perfect proximities, at a perfect distance. Because if you don't know, look it up yourself, but if our sun or earth was spinning a mile away from our sun, we will be frozen. If we were a mile closer to the sun, we will be burnt to a thin crisp and snacked on by a galactic god above. So I say all this to say, if we humans, in one day we will know how to launch all this stuff into orbit, but until then, how can we let someone that's probably already proven the path for themselves tell us that this is the only path, it's only this way, it works no other? There might be some things that way, but I beg to differ. And once again, I'm not getting all scientific, but this even goes down to belief. And I was reading a Joe Budden, or I was listening to a Joe Budden podcast where they were talking about something on the lines of 100 to 200 years back. I can't remember what it was, but they were basically saying, if you told a civilian, they said something on the lines of, if you told a civilian or asked a civilian, how would they increase? Basically, if you asked a civilian, how would they fix or increase modern tech? Oh, here we go. Let me fully set the stage. If we are in the time where cars didn't exist and there was just, or a few cars, or even let's go ahead and exit all cars. If we existed in a time where there was just horseback, and we asked just your everyday person, how would you fix the problem to traffic? How would you fix a problem to just transferring A to B? Some people probably would say have more horse carriages on the road. Some people will just be in that mindset of what already works, but really won't extend that to anything further. So all I'm saying is some people are still in horse and carriage mindset, but some people are on actual working car mindset. And I don't think I did justice with that, so I really want to run that back. So listening to some person that has everything quote unquote figured out to how they figured out, I don't care if they're a billionaire. If they have figured it out to the depths of that, cool, it worked for them. But who's not to say that the fact that you have something in your heart, who's not to say that the fact that you think something, feel something differently about this, and it might not be true, and it might be false, and it might lead you to a path, what do you call it? It might lead you to a cul-de-sac where all you can do is circle around it and figure out you got to go back. But who's not to say that you going through that experience might cultivate something that once you find that path that the billionaire probably was speaking to you, but you didn't listen to earlier, that might have been the path. But who's not to say that you veering off and coming back to the herd, so to speak, who's not to say that you don't have a whole nother energy, a whole nother about yourself? Or who's not to say that when you go left, who's not to say that you could find something, pick up something that billionaire probably didn't go down that path? Or even if that billionaire did go down that path that didn't work, he probably missed something that was needed to take what he built to go next level. And I say all that, and I have stories on stories on stories on stories on stories on stories to always paint a picture for you that there are a million, there are a billion, there are infinite ways up the mountain, just like there are a million ways to travel. At one point in time, we were traveling on foot. At one point in time, we were traveling on donkeys. At one point in time, traveling on a horse. At one point in time, traveling in a horse and a carriage. At one point in time, traveling in the version 1 of a car. Then another point in time, traveling in a better version of a car. Then in the future, we're gonna learn, and they already have flying cars now, but we're gonna have that down to a system where that's just everyday, that's just normal. Where if you talk about flying cars, there's like, yeah, that's just a normal car. But to us humans in this 2022 era, we're just like, oh my God, that sounds very wild. That sounds very out there. But I say all this to say is, take everything you hear from people with a grain of salt. Don't try to emulate 101% of the next person. Do, if that's what you feel that you need to do it. But do that with the sense of keep your light on. As you're following someone else's light, keep your light on as well, because only by you keeping your light on is how you're going to extend humanity forward. You might don't be in big tech, big data, all this other stuff. You might be doing something to the degree of writing children's books, but who's not to say that the way you crafted these words or put these pictures with these words in such a way that lights up a child's mind that didn't happen in a past, that has them learning at different levels because you did what you did from your place of heart, even though you probably did follow a path or didn't follow a path. All I'm saying is keep your light on, because you do not know whose light you're going to help. It's almost like, if you didn't know, there's different levels of light. There's infrared light, there is ultraviolet light, there's red light that doesn't travel as far, and there's just like hyper light that freaking blinds your eyes, like ah. But all I say is different creatures need different lights. You might have a salamander creature that only sees a certain UV light, but who's not to say that a person you were crafted to be is a person that UV lights your day-to-day being. You feel UV light might mean that you make music. You might make a certain sound of music that never existed, but who's not to say the music that you make is inspiring this whole group of people on the other side of the country, that inspired them to follow their passions, that inspired them to follow technology, that inspired them to meet this person that's in science, and who's not to say they're gonna find a cure for this and a way to do this and all this. Who's not to say? We are small-brained to think that that is not the possibilities, and we're actually small-brained to think that that's not happening right now and hasn't been happening a million years in the past. And I'm gonna get my what's up to these dudes. Peace out. All right, just saying what's goodbye to the neighbors, but real talk on that. This is a whole message of, once again, follow paths, but keep your light on. Let's run that story back again. Everybody has a different light. There might be creatures that need super duper duper bright lights, and what you do might give that bright light, or what you do might give that low light, but the low light might be perfect for these creatures. There's the, what is it, the ancient Albert Einstein quote, don't judge an elephant on the test of a fish. I'll run that back for you backwards. Don't judge a fish on the test of an elephant. We are small-brained, ego-filled, not ego-good way, but we are small-brained, ego-filled people. If we are truly going to believe that there is one way up the mountain, that there is one way to cook a fish, that there is one way to film a video, that there is one way to listen to music, that there is one genre of music, that there is one way to cook a pizza. I mean, technically there's one way to cook a pizza, but technically no. I mean, there is, because once again, because when you get into science, like, then again, there's multiple ways to equate to 4. And I know this is getting simplistic, but I'm giving simplicity so you can put into your complex life. But if we want to equate to 4, one person might do 1 + 3. If I want to equate to 4, another person might be doing 2 + 2. If I want to equate to 4, another person probably did 4 + 0. Did they not all get to 4? Exactly. So once again, I want to nail this in your consciousness. This is my whole purpose of life, because I've lived one of those lives where I've had teachers that be like, oh, no, do it this way. Oh, no, everybody doesn't do that. Oh, no, what are you doing over there, lone wolf? No, and I'm a sociable person, but I'm a lone wolf when I want to be. But some people are like, nope, you gotta, like, I understand there's a time and a place, but at all times I gotta do what everybody else is doing. Like, lady or dude, I think you need to chill. But here's the thing, being a true meta man, a meta woman is real talk. Like, this is what people really don't talk about, because I feel like this is the most difficult thing. Loving your naysayers, or colloquially speaking, if that's the correct word, loving your haters, however you want to call it. And I don't want to say haters because that even sounds uncool anyway, but truly loving people that don't understand what path you're on. Because at times you can be like, oh, disregard you for not believing what I got. That's perfectly fine. That's human nature. Of course, people are going to believe what they're going to believe in. And of course, if they don't understand what you got going on, they're going to try to change it here. Mainly because they don't understand it. It might bring up things they're not looking at in their own lives. You know, you following an uncovered path, to them they can be like, oh my God, people that usually follow the uncovered path lead to stress, and stress leads to violence. They might be operating from that because that's all they know. But little do they know, you probably come from a super loving family. The stuff you see on a day-to-day basis probably speaks differently to your heart than the next person. So it's like you gotta step up. You gotta be more meta. You gotta wake up to the inner God in yourself to truly love another that does not see your vision. Or if people violently want to oppose you, because I can't remember how it goes, but they talk about, I think truth goes through 3 stages. Truth, it's first violently opposed, or what is it? Truth, First they make fun of you, then it's violently opposed, then it's accepted. So everybody goes through it. And I bet you that could be my work for today. I can find some stories of just people that had a dream, that had something they were feeling, yet everybody was like, nah, that's impossible. And look at them today. And they could have been passed away 500 years ago, you know, but it's just a day-to-day thing. But we humans, or these stories aren't painted enough where we don't attach to these stories, you know. Like for me, it's a given, you know. This has always been my mindset. But like I was saying earlier, I've had those teachers that are like, nope, it's only done this way, or why are you doing that way, or what symbol are you holding up? That must be gang violence. Oh man, it's a funny story though. Like, not to get on that, I'm not even roasting Miss Rhodes, but I remember it was actually, we to go to a school called Rockwall Christian Academy. It was a Christian school, private school, and we did something that we made up as kids, because we're creative kids, because kids are creative. We call it Texas Chunk. And this makes no sense, because it's creativity. It's not supposed to make sense. That's the beautifulness of it. Anyways, we call it the Texas Chunk, which is hilarious. It makes no sense. But basically you do this, and you just put it on someone's head. It makes no sense, but that's what we were doing. We were having fun. We were expressing our bliss. We were expressing ourselves as children, as people, as humans. And one teacher was like, that must be a gang sign. But here's the thing, being meta, really unlocking the inner God within itself. And I don't say that from a bad, evil, devilish perspective. Not even get religious. Does it not say in the Bible, I and my Father are one? So either we're reading two different things, or it says, nah, we have been created from, we are that. We are an extension of that. Anyways, truly unlocking that God force in yourself is loving another, no matter if they're violently opposing you, no matter if they're discriminating, blah, blah, blah. I don't even believe in discrimination. Like, man, you gotta, really, like, we can't let words touch us. You understand at one point in time, people were getting their legs chopped off, their arms chopped off, beaten, and even worse, like, even look at the Holocaust. You feel me? So how are we gonna let some words affect us? Like, yes, I understand sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, yeah, no. Yes, I do believe in that. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is true. And people that say sticks and stones, and yes, I understand words hurt, because there is a quote, and we live in a new time. What do they say? People will never remember how you treated them, but people will remember how you made them feel. So all I'm saying is treat people with respect, but if people aren't treated with respect, that's weak. Man, real talk. But once again, you have to be the ones to always treat people with love and respect. But if they don't treat it same, you just be like, that's nothing. In the past, people have died for us to get here. So if you're one of the ones that get all iffy and yada 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 off of a few words, you need to rethink that, or you need to watch how kids are living in Somalia and Sudan, and you will be like, oh, I can never be offended. I'm an American. You feel me? Real talk though. Come on now, we got working AC plumbing. I can walk inside, play a video game, get on the internet, start a business, make a video, I have everything to my access. I am an American. What's gonna take me down? What's gonna take my vibe down? But of course, out of love and violence. Because like I said, Miss Rhodes, when we were doing the roads, like the I think the keyboards, anyways, or the music, whatever. Anyways, as we were doing the Texas Chunk, this lady thought it was a gang symbol. And mind you, we were fourth graders. So it could have been Miss Rhodes probably comes from a different side of town. I was born in the suburbs, you feel me? And I think I speak pretty proper, but you know, my skin tone might say otherwise. Anyways, laughing at that, but laughing at it out of love, because that's true meta. That's true meta man. That's true meta moon. That's true meta woman. That's true the inner God within ourselves. It's loving people when it's hard to, like, it don't get no better than that. That's the true work. If you got people as, oh, he did that, oh, he said that, oh, he's violent, oh, he's a bad person, but still sending back, that's the most boss thing you can do. Real talk. That's the most Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos thing you can do. Let someone have their opinions. Like right now, I hear people outside. If they were to be like, look at that dude, I can sit back and just chill with my leg up like this
full confidence that I know myself, and that's just someone else's opinion. They don't come inside and clean me up when I go to the bathroom. They're not the ones making my meals. I don't have to feel anything on the outside of this. Real talk, I can look at anyone outside, say hello, and feel no detriment to my personality because I am strong within myself. I evoke love. And when you evoke love, you have unlocked the God within self. So no matter what, once again, oh, he's violent. Oh, he did that. Oh, he's gonna do this. Okay, sure, that's what you're talking about. So as you stress yourself out and waste your time and resources on that, I'm gonna be over here creating a life out of my dreams and passion, and I hope one day you wake up too and live the life that you love. But if you don't, you know, I hope you don't waste your whole life, but this is a message for you. But if not, hey, you can watch me on YouTube all day being happy. I don't, shoot, what you mean? Trust me, life's gonna spin without all of us, you feel me? But I say all this to say, mind you, we were fourth graders doing the Texas Chunk, and Miss Rhodes is like, gang violence. But once again, I come at it from a place of love that she might be from a place where she saw all African American people as, you know, gang-ridden, violent, whatever. She might come from that place, or she might been watching too many movies or watching this side of the news channel. But here's the thing, I'm not gonna fault on her. I'm not gonna hate on her for that, because we must show love. Because I was at my grandma's funeral about a month ago, or a few weeks ago, however it may. One of the pastors said something very profound, and not even get religious with you. I'll go to a Muslim church in a second. I'll go to the Buddhist church in a second. You feel me? I feel like the true message of God is that we are all extensions of him, no matter what you're speaking, no matter what language you're speaking. If you're doing it out of love, you are speaking God. That's what I believe in. So bump one religion. It's all religions, baby. Real talk. What you mean? As we said, ain't, yeah, one way to the Father, but there's multiple ways there. Anyways, I ain't getting religious on you. But one thing he did say is, sometimes you will never know, and some people will never vocalize it. Some people will never vocalize how much you have affected their lives in a positive way. Or some people never vocalize how you affect your life in a negative way. But we're focused on the positive here. So some people really never may speak out of how you have changed someone's trajectory for life. And it's funny that I say that. My grandma was saying, so the pastor that was speaking over, you know, while she was, you know, she's in the other world now, and I say that out of most respect. Like, what's next? I'm interested. Shoot. Anyways, that's a natural thing of life. Let's celebration. But what he said he was actually on heavy drugs in the past, and he said he was coming around Betty's house looking for some change or trying to ask for some change, and he didn't say anything. And all my grandma was saying is, you keep your head up, and just some other words, just you keep your head up, let nothing get you down. And he said to that day, that one phrase changed his whole trajectory on life. He actually went to college, got his doctorate degree. I don't know what he studied. I think like theology or something like that. But that is amazing. So once again, your positivity might not be vocalized on how much it has changed someone's life. So one thing he says out of saying that is, you must show love, because sometimes people weren't showing those same love. Miss Rhodes, she probably doesn't come from a happy father. Sure, her father could have been hating on everybody. Like, oh, look at that Indian person. Look at that Hispanic person. That could have been her father, but her father could have been that way from his father. His father could have been that way. You feel where I'm coming from? So it's like, there's just so much history in the past where it's just, you gotta stand up today and just show love and be like, the past is the past. I'm loving you today. I don't care if you hate on me this second. I don't care if you look at me in my face and hate on me. I'm gonna kiss you on the cheek and say, I still hope you have a beautiful day. That's a meta man. That's a meta woman. How strong are you? Bump your biceps. Bump your calves. How big is your freaking heart, man? Real talk. That's how I love when people try to do all this other stuff. I'm just like, this gives me an excellent reason. To express more love to you, and just to show like that. Once again, that is true meta. That is true the inner God within self. But anytime anyone wants to throw some dirt water on you, you're just like, you know what? I didn't even need this shirt anyway. I still got my body. But this, just make this all a reason for you to show more love. Really, show more love. Show more love. Show more love. Do it with all your heart. It's Chef Michael Moon cooking. It's the Chibi Mix. It's all that and above. We're not focusing on what they're talking about. We're not focusing on what they're talking about. We're focusing on what we're talking about. And if they're talking about what we're talking about, cool. We'll be in the same room. If not, have your own room. I don't give a darn. Enjoy your life. You know, I'm gonna enjoy it with you. But if you're one of the ones that, you're only looking for this negative side, have the rest of your life. Matter of fact, follow me on Instagram. That's Mikal dot P as in passion, S as in Somalia, D as in diuretic. So Michael, so Mikal.PSD. Follow me on Instagram. Watch everything I do. I honestly do not care, because if you're one of the ones that's only searching for negative, go ahead and find it. Call me out on it too. I want to be a better person. But one thing that no one can rob away from you is your joy and your will to actually move forward. So being happy is one thing, and we're kind of shifting here, but being happy is one thing. But being happy while you are actually moving towards taking the physical action steps on what you want to see bring into or brought into fruition into your life, now you are a whole nother meta beast. So you went meta man, meta moon, meta woman by showing love, but you become meta man, meta woman, meta moon beast. Add that beast to the title when you're taking that action, when you're taking those physical steps. Because being positive is cool. You'll attract a lot of beautiful things. But the question, like, for instance, if I'm like law of attraction, they talk about law of attraction is attracting one thing to other thing. But some people believe, or some meta people, however you want to look at that word, some meta people in the law of attraction communities talk about law of attraction is becoming aware of what is already here. I have no more words to that. Literally, becoming aware of what is already here. Like, it's so out there where I'm gonna need some graphs and stuff. But I got a story analogy for it. For instance, if I'm like, darn, I wish I had a leaf. Hold up. I'm like, darn, I really wish I had a yellow leaf. Oh, here we go. Darn, and this is random, but don't take the story, take the background of the story and apply it to your life. But if I'm like, darn, I wish I had a yellow leaf. Okay, here we go. This is so random, but if I could only scratch my arm, but my nails aren't working, I need a certain yellow leaf to scratch this part of my body, and I don't have it now. So I'm just, what does it say in the Bible? Once again, I'm not getting religious with you. I'm just getting spiritual meta person with you. Ask and ye shall receive. If I'm like, darn, I wish I had a yellow leaf, and a yellow leaf blows by. Cool, I stayed in a great mood. I attracted what I was asking for. My arm's still itching, right? I'm still in a positive mood. My arm's still itching, right? So here's where the physical part comes into. Here's where becoming a beast comes into. We have attracted what we were asked for, but we as three-dimensional action-based humans, are we picking up the blessings that we were just asking for and utilizing it? You feel me? Because a lot of the times we can get stuck in a infinite loop of asking for more, receiving it, but not taking steps on it. So you're like, oh, I guess it didn't work out. And this is personal life. That's why I can speak so strongly on it without a script. You know how many years of just toiling away and spinning in a circle. So much I have learned, like I spoke of earlier. There are a million ways to your infinite ways to your destination. Even this millionaire, billionaire might say, no, it's only this proven way. Sometimes you need to go off the unproven way so you can be like, okay, I now understand that didn't work. Yes, I could have listened to you earlier, but what do they say? Words don't teach, life experiences teaches. And well, without gaining that life experience, like I said earlier, who's not to say you're going to be that much more passionate, that much more locked into the moment, that much more caring about it versus the other billionaire, they might be on point, but you might be just that much more important because you probably spent so much time, putting so much work and passion in on what truly wasn't working. Once again, follow the path you believe is the path, but it has to be out of love though. Anyways, last thing, and we're wrapping up here. We're on a 48-minute mark, you feel me? Even though, shoot, we could get into some telekinesis, but we'll say that for other channel. Now, if you want to go meta, then we'll really go meta, you feel me? Anyways. Yeah, so a lot of the times in my personal life, I have been asking and receiving exactly what I was asking, but as humans, it might not come in the form that we might think it needs to come in. And this brings into the conversation of different, that's why I need to have some on-screen visualizations, but that's where people bring into the conversation. And you're here for a meta conversation. I'm not going to give everyday stuff. I mean, that's cool, but we gotta take it up levels. We can't just keep you in kindergarten forever. You feel me? You can't just stay in high school forever. You feel me? And if you're in college forever, I hope you got the doctor's degree and pushing forward. And I hope you're at the point of teaching the class. And I hope you're in the point of going to the lab to test out new hypotheses that have not existed yet. That is how we all should be living in all of our fields. I don't care if that's cooking. We need to, man, I understand, keep rolling on the wheel. Don't rebuild the wheel, but built a new form of what the wheel does. You feel me? You ain't gotta rebuild the wheel, but how can we build the teleportation pad, baby? You feel me? Once again, it ain't rebuilding the wheel, but we working on travel. But that same concept, we should be putting everything. Music. I don't want to hear the same songs they've been making in the past. And if you make like Bruno Mars, that dude does a wonderful rendition. Him and Anderson .Paak, they didn't just, I mean, some songs, they just dubbed over, but they did get sued and all that. But even if they do like a old song in the past, like Bruno Mars, the song Treasure, it has that 80s, 70s feel. And that's what he was going for, but made in today's sound, today's technology. It has a new energy about it. And I wonder if we were to take that track and play it, like take that track and go into our time machine and play it for the people in the 70s, would they feel the same about it? They probably would. I don't know. I don't know how time works. What if time is literally like that? Like, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyways, I was veering off. To something that we need to go to, but I'll just channel it back into here. And that's the beautiful thing about speaking from experience and speaking from the heart. You truly don't need no script if you know your true intentions of why you speak. I know why I'm speaking. I am sharing what the freak has helped me, and I'm sharing what is helping me now, and I'm sharing what I don't understand, because I just want to dialogue and process and look back 5 years and be like, oh, I was on point, or oh, I was way off point. However you look at it, it's data for the next person and the next person. Who am I not to share what has helped me? I've been the person to wake up every day and watch other stuff that helps other people. So who am I not to do the same thing and add to the pot of humanity? But I say all to say, and I know I'm running this back because I can't remember that point where we're at, but I say all this to say that at one point in time, I had been asking and receive. Yes, that's a beautiful thing about not needing a script. If you talk from the heart, you're going to eventually, your heart's going to lead you where you need to be when you're going by the heart. And I'm not saying if the heart says, I don't want to go to work today, if you got the time off, take the time off. But if you don't, you better muster it up and go into work. But as you're going into the work that you don't enjoy, you better find out a way, how can I start to follow my passion a little bit more serious? That's why I appreciate these just warehouse jobs, because keep your passion, but those jobs make you operate at the highest tier. Once you're doing 100%, once you're doing 120% for someone else, you start to look at yourself like, hold up, I'm already giving these people 120%. Why can't I do 120% for myself? So you'll just start to see the illusion that, that being at work, no matter if you're at McDonald's, no matter if you're at the CEO of corporate Fortune 100 company, work is work is work is work. But there can be passionate work, and there can just be work that a computer could be doing. So you need to be honest with yourself. Am I just doing this because I'm not betting on myself? Am I here because I'm not believing in myself? Am I here because I'm not putting action when I know I need to be putting action on? Am I here because when I'm off, I'm just eating too many snacks and just beating up on myself? We need to really start to ask ourselves these questions. That's why so many people are stressed out. It's like, you can still be at the same job, but be happy about it, knowing you're moving towards something better. Real talk. Once you start making that action forward here, there is a sense of wonder. You bring a sense of hope. And I've heard this beautiful quote where it says, we turn hopeful into belief, and we turn belief into knowing. Let me run that back. We run hopeful, so it's like, oh, so let's take a person at a job that they really don't like. Let's don't even add hope into it. You can just be one of the person that's at job just moving stuff like, how you doing today? Can I take your order? You feel me? Just on some, come on, bro. You feel me? But that's fair. That's life. That's some people where it's just how you doing, but they might not have nothing to live for. That's probably why they're acting like that. No matter if they got a full day's of rest and a cup of coffee, if you don't have no passion in your heart, you're gonna be the most bland human being ever. Real crap. You're gonna be, hello, how you doing today? Can I interest you in a number 5? You feel me? Because you ain't living for nothing, so why would you be psyched up about life? And I will say a lot does play into diet. If you're eating clean, naturally your body's just on point. But I will say it really does take into effect. You truly must live some sort of your heart's desires, because that person that gives me desire, I don't care if I'm eating right or wrong, I'm just like, you feel me? Because I'm living from the heart. And I know the heart's up here, but still. Anyways, that's the solar plexus. anyways. So let's take, going back to the hope, to believing, to knowing. So you got the person with no hope. Yes, you got the person with no hope where they're just like, I got the number 5. Would you like to supersize your order? Okay, cool. That would be $12.75. That's cool. So then at work, they're probably like, man, this sucks. And they could have ran into a person that's like, oh, I'm a social media influencer that goes around the world and takes pictures of exotic hamsters and chihuahuas. I don't know, something random like that, because they were following their passion. It might pay their bills in an interesting way. There might be a demand. There might be a market for it. You feel me? But I say what to say, a person with no hope probably ran into that person, or attracted that person to see that there is more to life than just, here, $12.74. Here's your burger, sir. There is more to life than just that. That's robot work. You feel me? And if it's robot work, you can do it like a human. We humans give emotion to things. I mean, until robots do. You feel me? Never doubt robots. Like, one day, robots gonna be. Shoot, I'm probably a robot now, and I don't even know it. You feel me? Probably that advanced. Anyways, but I say this to say, a person with no hope most likely you're going to run or attract that person that's at the top tier of their life, living blissfully, living passionately. Then they might go home that day with a little bit of spark in them, a little bit of hope, like, hold up, that person was doing it, why can't I do it? And what they were doing, just like when I hear stories of J.K. Rowling becoming a billionaire or being valued at a billionaire and bump the money, it's just, if you can be that free from making stories, and of course she is worth that much because yes, it's because of the theme parks, it's because of the merchandise, the underwear, the snacks, the movies. But do you understand that all came from an idea in the mind? Lady was homeless on the street, not a house like I have. Homeless on the street making a story. Hold up, do you understand how wild that is? She make a whole story put together, not even having a solid place to live, which, like I said earlier, working those jobs or having that life where you gotta kind of purposely nut up, you feel me, a little bit fire in the feet. Fire in the feet makes you a little bit real. I'm not saying go to Somalia today and live with the African warlords to get inspired, but if it takes that, go ahead, you feel me? But I will say that fire in the feet does, like, you know what, I do need to move. I know I'm better than this. Not even better than this. I know I was meant for more. I know abundance is here for us all. I'm in a poverty mindset. I'm in a self-deprecation mindset. I'm in a beating up on myself mindset. I'm in a comparative mindset. So I do agree with working those jobs or having those fire in your feet lifestyle, because once again, it truly wakes you up to the ultimate champion that you truly are, whether you know that crap or not. Anyways. So that person working at that whatever job, $12.74, no hope, meets that person that's blissfully living their life, taking exotic pictures of chihuahuas and hamsters. Anyways, they go home and there's a little spark and they're like, you know what, if they can do it off something so crazy off that, like we're talking if J.K. Rowling's can get to a level of freedom there from a story, it's like, hold on, why can't I do that with what I love? That person might love computer programming. That person might love exotic basket weaving. That person might love Olympic swimming. That person might love tap dancing. I don't know what it is. What is it? And don't let someone else tell you what it is. Yes, you can listen and try things, but for someone to say, no, this is what you love, I've known you for all my life, and it might be true, but if you don't feel it, man or woman, no, you gotta feel it. And sometimes, like I said earlier, even if they were on point, even if they were right that this is you, words don't teach. Life experience teaches. And yes, they talk about the wise man learns from the wise man learns from, what is it? The wise man learns from the actions of others. Yeah, that's cool. And that might be the case, but I feel like the true beast learns from the actions of his own actions. And I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm basically saying is, yes, I can read a biography about Sam Walton, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Cool, they did that, but it's like, Who's not to say following your own path, whether it makes no sense, is gonna give you what you need to become who you truly are? You feel me? I feel like everybody has a biography, and everybody's biography is like when you have reached your meta. And I'm not saying reach your meta as an end-all be-all. I look at meta as a sideways 8. You have reached meta when you have reached that state of infinity, when you have reached a state of, you understand that you will never be complete. From a perspective, you're always growing. You will always be growing. And once you have reached that awareness, you are meta. No matter if you're a 1-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 17-year-old, it's just an understanding of where I am, how I look, even if I was 500 pounds, but understand that I'm an always evolving project. That is when you hit meta, if you can continue that. But with that understanding that you are a never-ending painting, a never-ending song, a never-ending project, understanding that, you understand that the actions you take today, you can pave out another path of life. Or you can do nothing, because doing nothing is still something. So what do they say? No choice is still a choice. But let's get back to the point, because we've reached our hour in, hold up, 58, 59. This has been the Hour of Power with Michael Moon. You've been tuned in. This has been the Hour of Power. I don't know what network this is going under. I don't know if it's gonna be under Inspired by Michael. I don't know if it's under Michael Moon brand. I don't know if it's under Dub Kids Network brand. I have no clue what brand this is under, but it's under one brand. Anyways, I don't want someone to contact me and mess up this video, so I'm gonna run this back real quick before someone tries to, I need to put this thing on mute, because someone can call and mess up this whole video. But anyways. So the person runs into the person with no hope, or the person with no hope runs into that person blissfully living their experience. They go home with a little bit of spark, and they're like, you know what? That probably is possible. So they come to work the next day with a little bit of hope. So that 1275 might still be a little bit of lackluster, but that 1275, that no hope 1275 might turn to a 1275. Then that same day, that person might follow that person on Instagram and keep in their consciousness that, yo, this actually is possible, and could have watched an interview from them. So that hope turns into a belief, like, nah, day after day after day, I see this person do what they talk about at a blissful state. So you go home with that bigger spark. It's almost a fire now. You go home with belief. So you come back to work next day at work with belief. So at one point, that no hope 1274 to that hope, to that 1274, to that belief of 1274. Then that day at belief, you look on the phone and you see like a whole another person, or a whole nother 10 people doing what this person's doing, and you see all their interviews, and you're like, oh, that belief is a knowing. Like, belief is cool, but it's like, nah, I know. Bump the belief. I solidly know. Let's go. So you come to work with a fire in your system. You come to work with the knowing. Belief was cool, but you had a knowing. So that 1275 is like, how are you doing today, sir? We got a number 5 here. Matter of fact, number 5 is cool, but you said you were looking for this, and you said you love these flavors. You know what? You should try the number 3. Matter of fact, I want to pay for this yourself. You come in with a whole nother sense about yourself. So you might be so ecstatic. People might think you're on drugs. People might think you're crazy. They might think you're manic. But what they don't understand is real passion. Not just showing up because my father or my mother said so. That's cool and dandy. But why would you not want to live an ecstatic, blissful life of love, joy, magical, mystical moments? That's what I signed up for. Y'all can keep that other stuff. Anyways, you've been tuned in and been blessed by the best. Michael Moon, Inspired by Michael. I don't know what network this is being released under, so I'm gonna say all the names because they all tie into everything. Like I said with Steve Jobs earlier, he had inspiration to take a font making class, and an inspiration to take all these other minimalistic design class. So 100 lakes from all the way from California to New York, Boston, I don't know my states, all the way from the UK to Antarctica to Hawaii to California. You got lakes You got lakes, but the more actions you take, the more you follow these passions. You're just like, oh, I'm passionate in this song, or I'm passionate in this part of technology. I'm passionate in this part of English. I'm passionate in this part of science. I'm passionate in this part of math. It's all coming together. And over years, it might not be 1 year, it might not be 2 years, it might not be 5 years, it might not be 10 years, it might be 20 years. I don't know. But when you continue to move forward on love and passion, but who's counting the time when you are loving life? Who is counting the time when you're loving life? But I say all this to say, and we're ending on this, but you keep bringing all those lakes together where it makes the one lake into the river. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but you understand where I'm coming from. The river into the ocean that became Apple. So you gotta find your own Apple, follow your own inspirations, no matter if it's not making sense. I'm gonna keep posting more inspirational videos, not just from me, other stuff I found on the internet, because this same type of content has helped me in the past. And I might be speaking another, I don't wanna say levels, like not climbing up a stair, but I feel like I'm sharing a part of the puzzle that I don't hear on a day-to-day basis. And the part of the puzzle that I'm sharing, I hear from certain communities that I don't see on a big time basis, but that might be the case because that is the case. Everybody probably isn't looking for that type of information. So all I'm doing is adding to the picture of life by adding my perfectly fit puzzle to the piece. I ain't worried about what he said, she said, the dog said, the hamster said, the chihuahua said. They gotta put their own puzzle piece in here. You feel me? I'm not looking at another person like, oh, you put your puzzle piece there wrong. Like, bro, did you even put your own puzzle piece in your picture? You know, so chill out. Anyways, much love. And oh yes. Don't forget to end it. To truly wake up to the inner God intelligence in you. And I don't say that on some weird double evil stuff, because not getting religious. It even says in the Christian Bible, and I say that because I respect all religions, I and my Father are one. So I say that to say, to wake up that inner God-like intelligence that we were made with, that we were made out of, that we were made from. To wake that up, we must be showing love. And that is one of the hardest things. Showing love when we are not accepted. Showing love when we're in environments where we even feel like people don't want us there. No matter this, no matter if they're saying this, no matter if they're making it try to seem like this, no matter what, we are loving our neighbor. We are loving I don't even believe in enemies, but we're still gonna love our enemies, man. Let's get it. I'm feeling charged up, baby. I don't even know what I'm getting to next, but I had to bring you with the hour of power. Honestly, I intended this to be like a 5-minute video. You feel me? But we are on for 1 hour and 6 minutes because this comes too easy to me, because this is the life I live. Peace out for now. Stay loved up. I don't have any other cool words. Peace out. Much love.